Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I am really sad I couldn't pull this character. Like, the recording of the second summoning session, I'm not redoing it. I'm not making it its own separate video. That stream was so short because I was actually upset I didn't get this character. But it's all good. My main account on NA will be far more suited to this character that it's whatever. I really like this character. I like chat, you know me, Shox is my favorite character in the game to play. I love quick servants. Foreigners are one of my favorite classes. And me not pulling this unit fucking sucks. But Shox is about to come out on NA next month. Am I going to burn my stash for her for this new unit on an account I'm not even supposed to be spending money on? No. So I'm salty, but I can't be spending money on this character. Is this character worth it though? Let's go through, because I didn't say I wanted her because like her kit is so cracked. Like she's absolutely like the next. I don't want to say specific, but she's not like the most broken unit out there. Let's start off with that. Base stack, nice and high to start with though. 12.5k. That is nothing to scoff at. Do foreigners have a power mod? No, they do not. Base damage modifier is base damage. But 12.5k attack base, that is such a solid start. HP 3.5k. Is that the highest? No. Is that super low? Nope. It's average. Actually kind of high. Not super high, but it's high-ish. Like 14k is high. 13.5, like that's more, it's upper end of average. Star weight, star gen are normal foreigners, and I always say the best foreigners are quick foreigners. That's just my opinion. It makes the most out of like what they got. Archer star weight combined with a midpoint between normal knight class and an assassin. It's not pretender star gen, but it's still good. I love foreigners when they're quick. I always think that they just function better. If they have a better star gen than most other units in the game, they have they're tied with Moon Cancers for like third highest star gen base stat. Would make more sense for them to be quick. But I'm not saying all foreigners can't. If they're not quick, they're bad. Goku is definitely not bad. But base to base with everything in their kit, I usually prefer the quick foreigners. They're the ones I go do first. Speaking of quick, MP charge 0.75. Arts card, 3 hits. Is this good refund? Is this good hit counts? Or it's on quick? Or it's on Buster 5 hit extra attack? Absolutely. This is... Her MP gen is not going to be the highest from her MP because it's quick. She doesn't have MP gain in her kit. But Mighty Chains, like you put it on this arts card, it is going to get a good chunk back. Not all of it, but a good chunk. Yeah, like she is chaotic good, which is a little weird for foreigners. Also she does not. That's funny. She's a foreigner without threat to humanity when most of them do. Well, probably you learn about why in the event. Probably because the reason she isn't a threat to humanity is probably because of Summer 8. Onto the skills. So, first skill. Quick and Buster up. It's only 20%. Hold on, though. Hold on. Because every normal attack you do, every face card and extra attack, you start building up to super effective damage on the MP. So if you face card before you MP, you will do super effective damage, which is multiplicative. It multiplies with every other damage source. Unlike power mods, it does not add into anything else. Super effective damage is super effective. You are sitting pretty at that point. The buff itself lasts for 5 turns, while you being able to ramp it up from this skill is only 3 turns. So you got 3 turns. You get as many face cards in as possible for this part of it. This part specifically. There are other ways. You do not have to face card everything, depending on what supports you bring. It's also 2 attacks, 3 turns of evasion, which I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. So, yes, this isn't the 30% that is standard for double card buffs. Yes, it does affect a refund, but not as much as you'd think. If you pair her with Ruler Scotty, it kind of doesn't matter, because Ruler Scotty gives 15% card buff, so that one Ruler Scotty attack buff basically brings it up to 30 and a little bit more. So you bringing Ruler Scotty makes up for this more than you bringing a regular Scotty. Should you still mix and match? Absolutely. But you're definitely going to want Ruler Scotty. Just based on this deck, double quick, double buster, you want Ruler Scotty. Whether it's 1 Ruler Scotty and 2 regulars, or 2 rulers and 1 regular, that's up to you and who you have on your account. But you do want more, you do want to mix and match the Scotties. Second skill, 20% attack buff for the party. Party crit damage up 30%. God damn, they just keep making Ishar's charisma look bad, because so many servants are getting just better versions of it. Sure, hers is on a 5 turn, but like, I would rather be double stacking more effects than double stacking something a turn earlier, right? If you're gonna double stack both like them regardless, like, if you don't need it turn 2, what does it matter? Like, there's no difference in like overall performance on turn 3, which is what you care about. Turn 2, like, damage is there, but do you care about it as much as turn 3 when it usually has the highest health HP? Say usually, because some of these, I think it was the recent lotto where the second wave had like a 350 extra class servant, which made it difficult for a lot of units to actually 3-turn that 90 plus. But back to this. Sorry, lost my train of thought on that rant. Because goddamn does this Char's, though I keep saying Char's charisma needs a buff. So besides the crit damage, MP damage for man attribute allies except self. Reason to say it is because there's so, like, we're able to put undead on servants. Like, it's not outside the realm of possibility that eventually they come out with a servant that actually puts like attributes on people, when already we can put evil traits like alignment. We can put alignments on other people. Not far outside the possibility we can put attributes on other servants or enemies who force super effective mods. That is honestly going to be like one of the scariest things, when you can force the enemy to be man attribute, because if that happens, Morgan is going to be like the most universal farmer ever, because you run her with Bitch, then you have super effective man and power mods for man, both doing insane damage. So they needed to exclude her here to stop it being abused in the future, because gacha games do not nerf, they only do buffs. If they they can't buff the skill and make it worse, so they have to cover their back for it. So once again, MP damage of allies with man attribute, and then on defense activate buff. If they get hit, Wandjina gets her super effective mod, meaning if both of your allies are man attribute and they both get hit by an AoE, she's getting 2 hits. She's getting 2 stacks. This also is 3 turns. So she's single target, by the way. Again, like, if you didn't pay attention to the start, that's why I liked her and wanted her for my account. So it doesn't, you're not going to bring her for 3-turn farming in the first place. 90 plus, I would say there are better servants, but she's kind of the only quick foreigner. But like, quick servants and 90 plus, like, they're pretty selfish. Like, Ruler Scotty kind of is AoE for multi-core, but it's still heavier in buffing one servant at a time. So this really depends on who you're pairing with. Kadroth, because I watched Kadroth's video before this. He said Neurobride, Waver, and Reigns are probably her best supports. Yep, because all 3 of those are man attributed. Where's Reigns? Waver, Reigns. Okay, so who else could you use? Anyone that gives card buffs. For if we're talking strictly multi-core, Helena, 20% battery to the party. And then card buff. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just double checking this real quick. Yeah, because this part's selfish. Yeah, so Helena, someone else you can bring. Edison for overcharge and cooldown reduction, because if you just have one thing of cooldown reduction for in your comp, she does have like 100% uptime. 6, 7. This one's unfortunate. Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that one. But yeah, if you're able to reduce the cooldown by 1, you're basically gonna have 100% uptime on her super effective, which very important. That is very high damage uptime that you can have outside of her having her other buffs. The super effective can probably carry her damage until she gets her buffs back. Maybe once or twice, but still carry the damage. So MP damage she gives the allies, 30%, just like the crit. And move it on to the 3rd skill. 30% battery, 10 gauge to the party every turn for 5 turns, and then heals 1000 for 5 turns. Adra said this is Mini Merlin. I would very strongly agree. He's wondering why this is only 7 turns. I would also agree with that. Like, this is very good utility for a DPS to have for supports. Oh my god, why is that popping up? Your supports are very important to keeping your DPS alive. Who would have thought? Letting Reigns and Waver specifically MP more? Good. Because that means Wandjina can keep going, even if she doesn't have the Scotties. The heal is also really nice, just chip damage. Wandjina is going to be like tanky in general, because like all of the normal knight classes aren't doing much to her, and if there's a berserker, like, that thing's not doing damage and is gonna get eviscerated real quick by everyone. But yeah, this is very solid. Like, just looking at these skills, might have an idea why I'm disappointed I don't have this character. Like, this is a very well built foreigner with all the skills actually making sense with each other. Not all foreigners have that luxury. Abigail, I'm talking about the OG one, not the new one. The OG one still needs help. New Summer Abigail, she needs help, but I don't think she needs nearly as much help. Like, that Summer Abigail actually does have a defined role, while normal Abigail doesn't. She needs an MP buff before that. And now we're on to passive skills. So 2 stars per turn and debuff resistance. Key thing to note: existence outside the domain. You need this trait for Van Gogh. Common misconception with Van Gogh is that she buffs all foreigners. That is not true. Van Gogh, buffs existence outside the domain. Most servants that have this skill are foreigners, not all of them. So just something to keep in mind. Magic resist A+, 21% debuff resistance. Basically 30, obviously I'm rounding up, 30% debuff resistance. A lot of debuffs just aren't going to stick. If the rate isn't 100%, it's probably not sticking. Even if it's 100%, it has a good chance to not land. If it's 500%, yeah, no, you're not avoiding that. Unless you have debuff resistance, you're not avoiding it. Oh well though. Last passive. 20% MP damage on airspace. It's gonna be rare, but it's probably gonna happen in this event. If they're giving her power mod, we're probably gonna see an airspace battlefield. More likely than not. Pens, man, like these days, I used to go extra attack over everything, but like these days, servants are getting 30%. AoEs are enabled farming because they get a battery buff. Her base battery is 30. Mana loading makes it to 50. You can start with more CEs. You have more options. For quick, you always want to be like at the 50s. Otherwise, you don't have enough charge and you have to start wasting charge or bring other supports. So it's just going to clean things up. And it's not like you don't want this up in a challenge quest. This will save runs in a challenge quest. This will clean up your looping in a challenge quest. This will make sure your supports don't die in a challenge quest. Extra attack though, fantastic base stats. None of these are low. None of her hit counts are low. Her extra attack is good. Her base attack is high. This is gonna be a good extra attack. It will do a lot of damage. Is it the best in the game? No, it is not. Is it up there? 100% it is up there. As a foreigner, she doesn't have many things she's not effective against or doing neutral damage, so like extra attack really does like add an extra 0 to your extra attack damage. I'm being like, obviously it's not exactly what happens, but to me sometimes it feels like without this upgrade their extra attack does like 20,000 damage, and then when you get this, it's like doing 100,000 damage. Like the higher you level your servant, the better of an upgrade this is. So your 120 servants, you do want the extra attack. It will make that thing hit so hard since they have such a high base attack. And MP, 7 hit single target, ignores invul for 1 turn, activates first. Very important. It's very important that like you're able to hit people with your MP with invul pierce. So you don't have a melt situation where you MP and then like the effect happens. It really hampers the damage. Melt needs an MP buff to fix that. Power mod to threat to humanity. Most of the servants that have this are foreigners. We have 2 extra alter egos. Pretender. If you bring a foreigner to fight a pretender, you're smacking them. Kick Oberon up and down the field. Goes for Castoria. Don't bring a foreigner to fight alter egos. And Hokusai, listen. If you're fighting a threat to humanity, that's a saber. Bring double X. Just bring her, because she does like 3 times her normal MP damage to specifically saber Hokusai. Bring her to fight. That isn't hyperbole, by the way. That she actually hits 3 times like her normal damage against her. Here we go for the super effective damage. Only applies to the MP for the stack she gets. And her overcharge is MP damage. Only 10% though. That hurts. Not that much though. She has literally every single kind of offensive buff all at once. Attack buff, card buff, super effective, MP damage, power mod. literally has all of them. And let's see how high her damage. Oh, she has an unbuffed MP, and she is hitting harder than servants that do. And I will even put the the exception with double X. This is 1 turn. Big thing to realize. All of her effects are at least 3 turns. Every single one of these other servants are like 1 turn. And that's just the start. Her base damage outclasses other single target foreigners. Yang obviously is the exception, but Yang requires much more setup. And against a boss that is debuff resistant or burn resistant, yeah, you can't bring Yang. Her base damage is higher. Her scaling just gets way higher to the point she has everything up. She's almost doing double damage. And Spirit Fury ×2, it only lists Spirit Fury ×2 because you can get 2 face cards in before you MP for the first time. Her damage literally only goes up. So both of these together, you're probably looking at like 80,000. Because you're not likely to get airspace and all of these. I mean, probably could. Honestly, Threat to Humanity and Interspace makes so much sense. But it's not going to be all the time. You're not going to be fighting foreigners in airspace all the time. So you can kind of exclude this most of the time. Spirit Fury ×2 is the same kind of increase in damage. So I'd say about 80,000, low 80 would probably be what she'd be without the MP damage. Mats to level. She needs a lot of gold mats. Yeah, no, this is a big pain point. Holy shit. He needs 5 different gold mats. 15 and 12 each. For each of her base skills. Yeah, it's a hard sell. A pen looks way easier because none of these are gold, but like all these still require you to be. This is Lost Belt 7. This is Paper Moon chapter 1. You gotta be up to current game if you want these. But again, these are pens. You're not gonna need a lot of. You're not gonna unlock a lot of them naturally. This is Lost Belt 5, but that's still kind of far-ish for her base skills. And they could have put one of the higher Lost Belt requirements like here and just fucked everything. Bonsi. Party MP damage 15%. Mana attribute 15%. Solid skill 30% MP damage for your mana attribute allies. She is basically sub DPS. She can be sub DPS or main DPS. Either one. So, do I recommend that people summon for her? Her competition for single target foreigners is Yang Guifei, Double X, who is very specific to fighting both Threat to Humanity and Sabers. So basically other foreigners and just Saber servants. And then, hold on, I did say Abigail, right? Yeah. So her competition, she kind of just spits on most of her competition in like most cases. Like for niche, Yang can probably hit a lot higher. Like we see here, when she gets the defense down, when she gets that ramped up, and the burn, she can hit very hard. And Yang's damage is super, super consistent. Like, without, like, this is pretty much all MP damage, and this is debuffs. Like, her damage, like, this is the consistent damage she hits every MP as long as the burn. Wandjina, her consistent damage is this, and it just goes higher. I really don't want to say she's must summon. She's not, but she is very, very useful to have. Oh, sorry, this wasn't zoomed in and stuff. Sorry. Yeah, you can see it a little better now. She's super consistent. Refund is going to be the biggest hurdle for you with her, just because she's quick. They have the advantage of being arts. They're not going to hit the hardest, but they're going to get back to their MP more likely. I gotta say again, I like this character. I wish I could summon for them, but I can't. I gotta save my money. Summer drained the shit out of me with those pities for all my accounts. All of my accounts got drained of pink quartz, so I'm hurt. I can't spend on every single banner, and that's why I committed to NA. So this character, more likely than not, I'm not getting them on JP. I want them. I can't. Cox is too soon. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.